Our Father, who were, are, and will be, in the innermost being of us all, your kingdom expands through our actions and the way we live our lives. Your will we carry out in the activity of our lives, just as you have placed it into our innermost soul. The nourishment of the Spirit, the bread of life you offer us in abundance in all the changing conditions of our lives. Let our comparison towards others be the balance of the sins committed against our being. You do not allow the temper to act within us beyond the capacity of our strength. For in your being, no temptation can exist. For the tempter is only illusion and deception, from which you, O Father, lead us out through the light of your understanding. Your power and glory work within us through the ages of ages. All right. I want to tell you a story about something that took me 2 years to understand. 2 years ago, I was in Peru, deep in the jungle, doing ayahuasca. It was the third ceremony out of 4. The jungle was thick and alive around us. You could hear insects humming, frogs calling, the whole forest breathing. Before the ceremony started, we set our intentions, and mine was simple. Teach me how to pray. That was it. Not a big philosophical request, not some grand mystical question. Just teach me how to pray. So the ceremony begins, the medicine comes on, and as I lie there on my mat, the world starts opening up in that way that ayahuasca does. The ordinary boundaries dissolve, the mind quiets down, and something else starts moving. Then I hear a voice, not out loud, inside. And the tone of it was almost amused, like a teacher who's been waiting patiently for a student to catch up. And the voice says something like, "You already know how to pray." And immediately the Lord's Prayer enters my mind, word for word. So I start reciting it, "Our Father, who art in heaven." And the strange thing was, it felt right, like the medicine itself was nodding along with it. But I didn't understand why, not then. I figured maybe the message was that prayer didn't have to be complicated, that maybe the prayer I learned as a kid was enough. But it turns out that wasn't the lesson, because it took 2 full years for the meaning of that moment to unfold. 2 years of doing deep healing work, 2 years of digging into the shadow. The places where old beliefs get buried in the nervous system. Beliefs like, if I own my power, I might become dangerous. Somewhere along the way, my system learned that power and harm were connected. That if I stepped fully into my strength, I could become someone who hurts people. So a part of me kept holding the brakes, holding back, staying smaller than I actually am. And through the work I've been doing, constellation work, somatic awareness, shadow work, I started noticing something. There's a structure to the human being. There's a structure to healing. There's a structure to how consciousness develops. And unbelievably, that structure is built right into the Lord's Prayer. 7 lines, 7 layers of the human system, 7 stages of the journey. The first line, "Our Father who art in heaven," this is origin, the recognition that life comes from somewhere deeper than personality. You didn't invent existence. You're part of something larger. And remembering that grounds the nervous system. It restores humility. Next line, "Hallowed be thy name." This is the awakening of values, the moment when a human being starts realizing that some things are sacred. Truth matters. Integrity matters. The way you live actually matters. Then comes, "Thy kingdom come." The kingdom isn't a place. It's the world we build through our actions. Every system in society exists because human beings created it, which means every day we're participating in shaping what the world becomes. Then we reach the center. Thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. This is the moment where adulthood really begins, because this line asks a harder question than what we want. It asks what is right, integrity over impulse, truth over comfort. Then the prayer brings us back down into reality. Give us this day our daily bread. Spiritual life doesn't float above the material world. You still need food, shelter, work, energy. You still have to show up and live. Then comes the line that challenges almost everyone. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Humans hurt each other. Families hurt each other. Partners hurt each other. Nobody escapes life without wounds. But holding those wounds forever traps energy in the past. Forgiveness restores movement. Not forgetting, not excusing, just releasing the grip of old stories. And then the final stage. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. This isn't about some external devil. It's about illusion, the stories the ego tells, the patterns that distort reality. Wisdom begins when you start seeing those patterns clearly. And when I looked at the prayer again through this lens, something else appeared. The prayer doesn't just describe stages of life. It actually moves through the human body, from the crown of the head down the base of the spine, spirit descending into form, consciousness moving through the whole system. It's a geometry, a map, a living structure. And suddenly that moment in the jungle made sense. The medicine wasn't giving me a new prayer. It was pointing me back to a map I already carried. Because sometimes the deepest teachings aren't new information. They're ancient patterns that finally click into place. And that realization led to one more step. What if the Lord's Prayer wasn't just something we say? What if it was something we could step into? A constellation, a living field, a way of placing each force in space and feeling how the system moves. So here is the constellation form of the prayer, a prayer spoken not just with words, but with awareness of the field of life itself. Our Father who lives in the innermost being of us all. Your kingdom unfolds through the way we live and through the choices we make each day. Your will becomes real through the actions we bring into the world from the truth placed within our souls. The nourishment of life flows towards us through every circumstance, feeding both body and spirit. May your compassion restore balance wherever injury has entered the human field. Illusion may tempt us, but it cannot overpower the strength placed within our being through the light of understanding. Deception dissolves, and we return to truth. For the power and the unfolding of life move through humanity across the ages. And maybe that's what prayer really is. Not asking something outside of us to fix the world, but remembering the deep structure that's already moving inside of us again and again until the way we live becomes the prayer itself.